Today's project is going to be swapping out a ball door. Let me zoom in a little bit and explain further. The way that I test it, and I torture test it, is I'm going to grab a pin, I'm going to lay it on the T-band, and I'm going to smash it into the ball door. Forewarning, loud noises. Wow, can't get it to fail now. Weird. Let's see if we can try that again. I had this spring already disconnected, so the ball door was not returning to its fully forward position. Let's smack it again. Did you see that? It opened. It's not supposed to do that, even when you smack it really, really hard. So let's swap this thing out. We're going to remove this spring again. We're going to remove our elevator pin feed deflectors. I take the whole bracket off because it's only 2 screws. Then we're going to take this bolt out and this bolt out. But the only way to get those out is to remove that bracket. So let's start here with a 13 millimeter. Hold on, all of my tools are behind me. This side's going to be easier to come out because the elevators aren't squared up to the pinsetter. They're offset ever so slightly. So we have a little more wiggle room here. I'm just going to set that aside. And now we've got access to our screws right here. For this next step, we're going to need a 10 millimeter. I like to use a speed wrench, and I think a 5 or a 6 millimeter Allen. Yep, I don't know what size that is. I can't see that well. All right, we're going to take our bolts out. Nuts and our flat washers are coming with us as well. Yeah, okay. Now for the fun part. So we're gonna have to remove this little spacer and this little guy. We can maybe pull it out with an Allen wrench. There's one, there's 2. I'm gonna hold the shaft collar so it doesn't just drop out onto the floor. There we go. She's out. We're going to take our pin out and reuse it. Bring our new, or rebuilt in this case, ball door back in. I'm going to make sure that that set screw stays pointing towards me, at least for right now, so that we can adjust our height as needed. Which way? Shapes and sizes. There we go. Bolts are coming back in. So we're going to put top bolt in, bottom bolt in, flat washer and a nut on the inboard side. Thread that onto the stud. Same with the top side. We'll go ahead and put our return spring back on and tighten these back down. One thing to remember is that since this is plastic on the housing that we're tightening our bolts down onto, we only want to go a little bit tight. We don't want to crush it. I can't easily turn the bolt by hand, so that should be plenty tight. Let's go ahead and bring our pin feed deflector back in. Going blind. We don't need light. Well, maybe we do. Light helps. But we've got plenty of light here. We have very good lighting. Very nice. I appreciate it. Right about there. We're looking for a 5mm gap between the T-band and our pin feed deflector, and we've got that. I'm just eyeballing it. This looks good. These get snugged. Yeah. All right, now we need to test it again. I just realized that I have made a serious mistake. I put the wrong side in there. Can you see our our ball door button and key are on the bottom side? Well, now we get to do it twice, huh? Okay, we're back. We repeated steps 1 through 12 off camera because we didn't need to focus on it twice. What we're looking for is a gap of 1mm free play up and down. And we have achieved that. Or should I say, it was set already. Why won't this thing focus? So the next thing we're going to check, I've got a house ball already here. We're looking for a 1mm gap between the top of our key and the bottom of our lock bolt. 1mm. I know that the book says 3 to 5. Do not do 3 to 5mm. You will end up with a lot of balls, or pardon me, a lot of pins in your underground ball channel. Don't do it. Pro tip. We are at 1mm or even slightly under. This is okay. The only time this gets complicated is if you have somebody with an undersized bowling ball and that ball isn't able to push the button on that ball door. And that would mean that the lever does not go down far enough to clear the lock bolt. We're using a standard house ball here, so this is good. If we do have some issues, we can always open this gap up just a tiny bit. So let's talk about the lock bolt adjustment real quick. Since we're here, we didn't need to do any adjustments on this, but what you'd want to do, loosen these two bolts. What I like to do is I'll hold my hand under here and hold this assembly steady. Loosen these bolts, shift it up or down until you achieve your desired target, and then go ahead and lock them down. And then retest with your house test ball. So let's give it a torture test again and see if it's still going to unlock for us. Again, loud noise warning. Apologies in advance. Not opening at all, so we are good here. We should see our trouble calls for pins in the underground accelerator or underground ball channel go away now. Maybe we should explain this a little bit further, because we didn't really cover function, right? What is this stuff doing? Basically what happens is, as a ball is thrown into the pit area here, the ball detect up front starts the Pinsetter cycle, but it also energizes this solenoid for 3 seconds after the ball detect is tripped. That ball detect, let me get some more light in there. If I can, maybe. Please bear with me. The solenoid energizes and that lock bolt lowers down. It prevents anything from opening the ball door under normal circumstances. That doesn't, if that's happening, then you need to take a look at that, right? Something's not right. But only a ball should be able to push that ball door button and lower that lever enough to open the ball door during normal operation. It is a different day and a different pair of lanes, but the same type of problem. And we already swapped the ball door out and we torture tested it, and the ball door is still unlocked a couple of times. So we're going to go ahead and replace the lock bolt and solenoid assembly. I've already loosened these 2 bolts up, but it's just these 2 bolts and the whole thing comes out. Pop a new one in and readjust it. We don't have a whole lot of wear and tear on this, but I'm not sure if the camera is going to pick it up. There's a little bit right here where the ball door key was rubbing against it, and over time that surface is just ever so slightly worn out. But we should be able to solve that issue by swapping this whole assembly out, and then what we can do on the bench is we'll replace that lock bolt. So let's check our gap here real quick. That's about perfect. We're gonna go up ever so slightly. I need 2 hands and I don't have a camera mount, so I'm gonna hold it with one hand, loosen that nut with the other, and we're gonna go up about 1/2 millimeter. That might be too much now. Now we gotta go down 1/2 millimeter. Okay, I'm pretty happy with where it's adjusted at. So we can go ahead and tighten our bolts back down. These should be snug, but it is possible to over tighten them, and you'll end up turning the head of the bolt inside of the plastic housing. And then things become a little more difficult. So don't do that. So let's retest now that we've got everything adjusted the way we want it to. Let's see if this will still unlock. Oh, sorry, loud noise warning. Will not unlock. We are done here. This is good to go. I want to see if I can get a better angle on this. I'll do the best that I can. But right here, this edge has a little bit of wear in it. And I think that that is just enough to let a pin that hits the ball door every once in a while unlatch it inadvertently, and it will let a pin into the underground ball return track. I do have another bolt. What we need to do, we're going to take the solenoid off. We're going to cut off our speed nuts. Again, black on black. Those little star-shaped speed nuts, I just cut them. I don't try and pry them back off. It doesn't usually work, and it takes a lot of additional effort and aggravation, but should be able to swap that into here and it will be just like brand new. I'm not going to do that on camera, but perhaps another time.